Kalimera pedia. Let's talk about the digital nomad visa. Is it possible for you to move to Greece with a digital nomad visa? Now, there are plenty of videos out there talking about a digital nomad visa and then how to apply to the digital nomad visa here in Greece. However, there's a lot of videos that are not talking about what exactly do you need in order to qualify in the first place for a digital nomad visa. Now, I'm going to leave the information here on the screen so you can go and check out the minimum requirement when it comes to income. It all comes down to income. It all comes down to how much money you're earning, whether you are working for a company or you're working for yourself. Okay? Now, this income might seem high for some people, but the reality is that for people that work for a company that allows them to work remote, this might seem like an average salary for that matter. And why come to Greece in the first place? Well, I don't really need to explain why people will want to come to Greece. I have mentioned before on my videos that Greece does not need to be sold to the people, right? To foreigners. I certainly try to promote my Greek lifestyle because I live here. And in theory, you could say that I live a life as a digital nomad here in Greece because I work online, and but I am a resident of Greece. I am a permanent resident here in Greece, so I don't need to apply for a visa. However, I do work online, okay, and I work completely remote, meaning that I work by myself. First of all, I don't work for a remote. I don't work for a company remotely. I'm self-employed, and I'm a big believer of entrepreneurship anyways, but that's a topic for another video. So I work completely online, 100% online, and I got my cat here in the background crying. This is what it's like when you work from home, right? So I work completely online, and what I do is that I earn my money in dollars, in US dollars, and that money comes into Greece, and I am registered here as self-employed. Okay, so I pay my income taxes, but all of my money and all of my income, I should say, not all of my money, that sounds a little bit weird, but all of the income that I earn is through the wires, meaning that it's in US dollars. I get paid through services like PayPal and Stripe and whatnot. And then that comes into the Greek bank, and then I have an accountant who deals with all the income tax and all of that things that are really boring, and that I could probably do it myself, but I don't have the bandwidth to do that. And she takes care of all of that, okay? And but when it comes down to the digital nomad lifestyle, this is one of the things that people do here in Greece, okay? And I know a few people that live here in Greece as a digital nomad, meaning that they work remote, but they choose to live here in Greece. And obviously they do pay their contributions. They pay income taxes here in Greece, so they're contributing to the economy, like myself. And I take a lot of pride in that. I've done videos about this, about what I do online, how I work online, and how proud I am to bring money from abroad here to Greece and pay not only my contributions, but contribute to the country, right? And I have a big philosophy of this when it comes down to Greece, because Greece is a small country. There's plenty of information out there about how many people are leaving Greece and all of this, and how there's not enough people here supporting the economy or working because of lack of jobs, unemployment, high cost of living, and all of the rest, which I'm not going to talk about here in this video. But I do take a lot of pride on that. And not only that, but I choose to raise my kids here in Greece as well, okay? Because I could go somewhere else if I wanted to. Well, with the type of work that I do, because I work for myself, I can pack my bags and go back to England or to whatever I want, and keep on working and earning money like that. What you guys need to know, or anybody that is considering moving here to Greece and with the digital nomad visa, that the main key here is whether you have work, okay? If you work for a company and allows you to go remotely, you need to have that income. if you're a single person, okay, there's a particular income if you're just single. If you have a spouse, then that income comes higher, obviously. And if you have a spouse and you have a kid, then the income comes up as well, meaning that you have to show proof that you earn that money, all right? Whether that's through a salary, through a paycheck from a company, or that you actually have an online business yourself and say like, hey, this is my income, this is how much I earn per month. Okay, I'm gonna leave the links underneath so you can go and check out what you need to apply, like the minimum requirements, or if just to be considered. Okay, but it all comes down to that. It all comes down to the income, and like with all things that has to do with visas, it all comes down to income, really. With any visa for Greece or for any other country, but we're focusing here on Greece. And when we're talking about the digital nomad visa, we're talking about your ability to earn income outside of Greece and live here with that income. All right, and yeah, the company needs to be from abroad. So I know a couple that they work for a British company and they live here in Greece. In fact, they live here where I live, okay, which is a small community, it's a small town. And the reason why they live here is because, it's a better quality of life. All right. Now they have a good job, and obviously, yeah, with that income living here in Greece, the quality of life is just so much better for them. And they both work remotely for a British company and they live here. Not only that, but they have a kid as well. But they could easily stay in England if they wanted to, all right? But they choose to live here. And they are a great example of the digital nomad lifestyle. I also know another person which works completely remote, and they don't qualify. They live that digital nomad lifestyle, even though they're not digital nomads. So the examples that I'm giving you here is not from people that actually have applied for the visa and they live here with that visa, but in theory, they live that digital nomad visa life kind of thing, okay? Obviously, these kind of cases and the people that I'm mentioning here, they are either residents of Greece because they are married to a Greek or whatever, or they just live here because they come from another European country, all right? But they do work abroad. All their income comes from abroad. I have another friend he's a Venezuelan actually, and he works completely remote. My friend Rodrigo, I have shared about Rodrigo here on the channel. In fact, he has a YouTube channel talking about his life here in Greece as well. And he's an English teacher and he works completely remote, okay? And he's completely remote. He doesn't need a visa to stay here, but he works here completely remote. A lot of people think that working online or working for yourself is this unattainable thing, and it's not, okay? But the only reason why I work online is because I relocated from the UK here to Greece, and because I found myself unemployed in a foreign country. That's how I got started. And I became a stay-at-home dad. My wife, being Greek, she was the one who went into the workforce, and I had to just figure it out. And because I have a certain level of skill sets, and then I acquire other skills along the way, then I became an online entrepreneur. And today I don't know anything else really. This is what I do, and I've been working for myself online since 2014. Okay, so it's 2024, so it's been 10 years now of experience of working online as a digital nomad. But I'm not a digital nomad, like I said, because I don't apply for that visa, but I work completely remote. And yes, I do find myself many times in a weird position when people ask me, what do I do for a living here in Greece? Because it's a big topic, let's be real, because Greece is famous for high unemployment, right? And in my age group, when I'm going to be 50 next year, in this age group, there's a lot of people that are already talking about when are you going to retire, right? How many more years you have into you retire or whatever, and it's a big topic, it's a big topic here in Greece, and it's something that, that if you're not around people that live a certain lifestyle, you just think that it's unattainable, all right? And what I mean by that is that I know a lot of people that work online, and a lot of people think that, oh, this is a strange thing, okay, that is happening, or that you can work remotely, and it's one of those things that you can only see on TikTok or Instagram or even here on YouTube. It's not that glamorous, okay? I'm working from home, but that's because it has been my dream since since I discovered the internet, right? Because I grew up without the internet, but when I discovered the internet and I realized, the power of it, I said, there's no way I'm just going to be a consumer. I'm going to be a producer. And by that, I mean that I'm using the internet in order to earn a living. Okay. Not just to consume and consume and consume. And but that's my philosophy. But that's going to be a topic for another video. I don't want to divert because I'm talking about the digital nomad visa. But even though the requirements and the information is out there for you, it comes with a price. All right. And that price is that you have to have that income and you have to have what it takes in order to work, right, for yourself. In my case, anyways, because I don't work for a remote company. I haven't applied in order to get any remote work. Okay. Again, I'm a big believer in entrepreneurship and self-employment for that matter. But what I want to say is that it's not that glamorous and it's not that strange anymore, especially in this day and age that we live in. I'm going to give another example. My wife is Greek and she works for a Greek company, okay, here in Greece, okay, it's based in Athens. And she works completely remote, all right, and this is before COVID. So it is possible for people, even here in Greece, to work for a company here in Greece and work completely remote. And my wife is not the only one, by the way. I know people that live in a Greek island with a family and everything, and they work remote for a Greek company. It's not, oh, this is only for some privileged people. No, it comes down to the skills that you have. It comes down to the knowledge that you have and what are your qualifications. And I use that word very, you don't need qualifications nowadays. It's about what kind of skills do you have. Okay. Now, my wife, in the case of my wife, it's because she knows English, and she knows English like a native. All right. It's actually one of the few people that I know here in Greece that speaks English like a native. If you hear my wife talking in English, you will think that she's either American or she's proper English. And yes, her English is it's what has allowed her to work remotely for this company. So it all comes down to skills. If you do not have the skills in order to work for a company and live abroad, okay, or build a business on your own, then you're not going to be able to have this type of opportunities. This applies with anything, wherever you go in life. If I did not know how to do the things that I do, and if you're just curious, I make music. This is a piano, by the way. I have a guitar here. So I make music. So that's something that I've been doing since ever. It's part of my skill. So I write music. I compose music for media. I also teach about the music. So meaning that I have a coaching program for this, for musicians and composers that want to learn about this. And I also do videos. This is not my first YouTube channel. I love to create content. So you could call me a YouTuber or a content creator. And, but I'm so many other things. There's so many things that I have acquired over the years in order to build an online business and in order to work for myself, which in theory, like I mentioned, I could present myself as a digital nomad, but I'm not a digital nomad. Okay, but it comes down to the skills that someone has. There are so many things, my friend, that I'm terrible at. And there's no way I will be able to do them. Okay. And things that, some people need to do them, whatever they are. And it all comes down to what you're good at. What is your area of expertise? Okay. So my wife is another example that she works here in Greece for a Greek company, completely remote from work, from home. And all she needs is a laptop, the internet, and the ability to do it. And yes, this is not I don't want to get too much into the details of it all because some people, they hit me up and say like, oh, I want to work where your wife works. Well, you have to understand that it comes down to the job and to the individual as well. It's not like there's a position out there, at least in this company, that says like, we're hiring remote people, okay, to work. My wife has been working in that company for many, many years. And the same with other people that are actually working remote right now. So it comes to a point when you work for a company like this, or when you work in certain companies anyways, and that because of your skills and because of the person that you are within the company and the value that you bring in, you are going to progress and you are going to go the corporate ladder, so to speak, and then you're going to be offered many opportunities. All right. Which brings me to that point again. what value can you provide either to the marketplace or to a company in order for you to have that opportunity of working remotely. So please don't send me messages of like, can you please give me the link where your wife works so I can apply to work remote, because it doesn't exist. Okay, what exists is the ability that you have in order to get into the actual company in the first place and say, okay, I can work, because that's how my wife started to work there, by the way. She just worked, she had her 9 to 5 going to the office, and because her levels of skills and her abilities to work and her interpersonal relationship, which a lot of people lack, let's just be honest here, okay? One thing is for you to have qualifications, skills, and all of this, but another thing is to actually be able to communicate, to actually have relationship with either coworkers or your boss, or have interpersonal skills, which is very important nowadays, whether you are in your office or you're working remotely, okay? And I can tell you this from experience, because my job involves a lot of email, all right? And I cannot tell you how many people lack the sensibility of actually writing a decent email and just communicate that, hey, this email is going to another human being, myself, right? And I'm talking about people that I have sent me emails in a professional level, like when it comes down to my services or my products. And I'm like, I can't believe people write emails like this. They think because it's an email, somebody else is just, another human is reading this, okay? So please take the time to invest in those skills of communication skills. Take the time to educate yourself, okay? Because I didn't know many things when I started to work for myself and to work online. I was very ignorant of many things, but take the time to educate yourself. Going back to my wife's work, by the way, and I think I want to bring this here to this video, because there is this thing here in Greece that this doesn't exist, okay? It does exist. You're just not in that position yet, or probably you're not looking, okay? And probably you don't have the right skills. So wherever you go, when people say like, oh yeah, but you cannot find work because here there's high unemployment. Well, if you don't have the skills or the qualifications, or you don't know what to do, okay? If you don't know exactly what can you provide, right? Then yeah, you're gonna be stuck at minimum wage. Yeah, you're gonna be stuck with just whatever jobs are out there, okay? So I am a big believer in entrepreneurship. But even if I did today what I do, and I was working for a company, the things that I have learned from entrepreneurship, will have made me a better worker. So if I was working for a company today, my number one priority will be not only what can I bring to the table, but my relationship with my boss and co-workers, and what can I provide to the greater good. Okay, it's not just me showing up for a paycheck, and when can I have my lunch, and when I'm gonna have my holidays, and today I'm going on strike. Okay, it's about what can I bring to the table, and how can I move around this ecosystem in order to progress and yet to grow. And this version of Daniel that you're seeing right now, it was not like that when I was an employee. The last time I was an employee was in 2010. That was the last time I was on payroll. That's a long time ago, my friend. And my friends from back in the day, when I was a worker, when I was working for a paycheck, for a salary, they will tell you I was a classic case of just showing up to work and just, pay me, doing the bare minimum, nagging and complaining, and that's it, go home. And I had a good job, man. I was living the dream. I've been very fortunate over, through my years of employment. I've also done some crazy jobs, jobs that have nothing to do with who I am. And I have done them. I have worked in coffee shops. I worked in McDonald's at one point, but I always use my skills. Wherever I've been, I have always had good relationships with workers, with my bosses, but I was not 100% in it. Meaning I was not 100% giving myself to the job. And people can tell this, okay? People will tell me this. They will say like, you have so much potential. You have so much in you, right? We can see that you're better than this, and you're not even showing it to this job, that you're overqualified, okay? So I know it's a little bit of a philosophical video, because, there's so many boring videos about digital nomad, and then it's like, yeah, but people don't even earn that money. They don't even have a job in order to apply for that visa, okay? And those who want to work online don't even make that, right? So we have to start at the beginning. Anyways, guys, this is a longer video that I wanted to make. Leave in the comment section if you would like to learn more about this. Thank you so much for the love and support, and I'll see you in another video.